It's the middle of the night. I'm checking up my maps. I open my map and I see a fucking headhunter. I've never even dropped a headhunter. I've dropped 3 mirrors and I have not dropped a headhunter. My first headhunter is coming from a fucking from Kingsmark. Yo, what is up, guys? Joker here bringing you another video for the 3.26 Mercenaries of Trathis League and the conclusion to my Road to Mirror series. As you just saw in the clips, we did go ahead and finish our mirror on stream, and we sold it. Actually, we no longer have it. We're back down to 1 div, so that's a little depressing, but let's go over the strategy that I ran to finish up my mirror. So essentially the strategy that I decided to finish the mirror would be some good old T17 map farming, right? Because T16.5s got nerfed recently, people started running T17s once again, and they're buying them for the usual 65, 70 plus C in bulk. So I went ahead and I used a whole bunch of the 8 modded dunes that we had, and we farmed some more, and we were just farming T17 maps as well as Guardian and Synthesis maps because I was planning on running those later, but you could always just sell these in general as well. We're currently in the middle of running a strategy with like the Synthesis maps. We're seeing how profitable the Maven invitation actually would be as a more like bossing centric currency making strategy. So even though the Road to Mirror series is done, there's still going to be about 2 or 3 other money making videos I make for more of a bossing centric money making strategies, I guess. See if they're viable at this point in the league, right? But yeah, with that out of the way, let's get into the actual strategy. So like I was mentioning, we were running the 8 modded dunes that we had farmed, and we're using a Cardo Scarab of the Multitude, Scarab of Monstrous Lineage, Influencing Scarab of Conversions. You can swap this for any other Scarab, really. You can use it in other multitudes here. I was using this because, like I mentioned, I wanted to farm the Guardian maps and the Synthesis maps as well. So that's why we have that. Then we have the Cardo Scarab of Escalation. Really important when you're running 8 modded or 10 modded maps, right? Like let's say you replace this with a Risk. If you're running 10 modded maps, then this is going to just give you way more maps overall. And then the last thing that we were using is the Domination Scarab of Evolution. This is once again a Scarab that you can feel free to change at any point to anything else. You could change this to another multitudes if you would like. I was testing it, and off, it's going to sound so stupid, but off like the feel and the vibes of the Evolution Scarab, I believe that it is having us get a lot more maps dropped per map. Like I believe it's actually really working really well, right? Because we're putting Beyond on the map, but then we also have Breaches on the map, and we have a lot of mobs that turn into Beyond mobs. So the chance of those mobs evolving is giving us the drop chance for the more maps, essentially. If we go ahead and we take a look at the atlas, we look something like this. We're essentially just going over here, grabbing all of the map modifier effects. Then we're grabbing Supplication because shrines are strong as fuck. Then we're grabbing Shaping the Mountain, Shaping the Skies, and Shaping the World because we're farming maps. We just recently blocked Delhi. It does add a lot of mobs, a lot of quantity, a lot of all that, but it is also super rippy on maps that have 8 mods and this much explicit effect. Like it is really rippy, especially on a Deadeye where you have like no defensive layers, right? But then we have Evolving Hives, which is giving breaches in our maps, 3 additional rares, and 30% more magic mobs. And then we are coming up here, we're grabbing these mapping nodes, and we're grabbing Drawn to Power and whatever that word is, right? For the double shrine effect. Trapping Carapace for the containment scarabs. All that glitters for the covetous shrine because we are getting double shrine buff when we click a shrine. So this is here to give us quantity, rarity, and an additional buff in addition to the covetous shrine just being an additional shrine, right? And these nodes are additional shrine chants. So it's pretty much quantity, rarity, additional shrines, so additional buffs and power. Then we have Eve of Invasion, which is majority of our breach chance, right? This is what you can swap a couple of the scarabs out for. Let's say you take off the evolution and you put a breach scarab. I was testing that out as well. That worked really well. But the majority of our breaches are coming from Eve of Invasion. And we've had multiple maps that have 3, 4, 5. I don't think we ever hit the 10, but we always hit several breaches on average, right? You're always getting like 1 to 2 breaches a map. Well, not always. You have like a 40% spawn chance for breach, right? So it's like every other map, there's at least one breach. And if there's at least one breach, then there's a chance that there's going to be more breaches without like any investment. Then we're grabbing Conquered Conquerors, we're grabbing the 16.5 nodes, and we're grabbing Remnants of the Past. This is all juicing our final boss, right? This is specifically for an additional drop of Conqueror Guardian maps in addition to the ones we're farming with the Scarab. There is another map farming strategy you can run where you take these nodes and you take the Scarab that has altars guarded by bosses, right? And you can farm conquered maps that way as well. I believe I've seen a couple of videos on that. I believe, is it a destructive play strategy? I don't think it is, but yeah. So that's something else that you can do as well. But we're grabbing all of them just for the additional drop chance as a like cherry on top of everything else of all the additional Conqueror and Guardian maps we farmed. When we kill the boss, we can drop 2 or 3 Guardian maps from them as well, which is really, really good. Chiseled Perfection, mainly for these points. Once again, we're not really adding quality ourselves, so Chiseled Perfection's probably not doing a super ton. Then we have the Light of Dawn and the Eater pack Exarch pack size. Then we have the Exarch altars. It's so weird because I usually run Eater altars all league for the Divine Shrine, but the Exarch altars are just better at this league in my opinion. And then we have Endless Tides, making it so we don't spawn any Beyond bosses because we're mainly spawning Beyond for additional chances at maps, right? Because the Beyond currency isn't really worth that much anymore. Like if we take a look, Painted Fusings are 13C. I mean, they still are money, but not a whole lot of it. And that's pretty much it. That's how we farmed all of these Conqueror and Guardian maps, and we're going to be running them to test out how lucrative Maven invitations actually are. We did find something else pretty cool as well. We found double influenced maps essentially because this map has Drox on it and then it also has the originator. So it's a Drox map, but it has 16.5 modifiers, which allows it to roll the things like more maps, more scarabs, more currency, which I feel like could be incredibly strong, but these maps are incredibly rare because you have to roll for the map to drop as a Conqueror's map in the first place, and then it has to roll to be a 16.5, right? I'm assuming that's how it works, because out of all of these maps we farmed, we did not farm that many, but we were able to confirm that you can get them on every Conqueror, right? Because we have Elder Slayers that have it, we have Shaper Guardians that have it, and we have Serious Guardians that can have it. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to make a couple probably another couple currency making strategies this league, but then that's going to be it for me. I completed all of my league goals, and I'm going to start prepping for the next season of Torchlight Infinite, like I was mentioning. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay up to date with this and future content. And until next time, take care.